And I'm sorry that I keep on saying and like my anxiety is high, so forgive me. Um, so I'm I don't know, it's just so hard. But someone made a suggestion, a YouTube commenter made a suggestion, but the thing is, the comment when I went to go comment, the comment, was censored. But somebody said, "Oh, you can get um a job as a work at home um insurance agent, but it takes the course or the classes take a long time." Well, the thing is, I don't have a permanent home, and trying to get a stabilized permanent home. And so one thing, it seems like life insurance and what's the other one? And those funeral related jobs always hiring, but that those two are an area that I won't touch, in the same way that I won't touch the job of gang stalking, and I won't touch the job of you know being a stripper or a prostitute, or any of those kinds of any of those kinds of jobs. But not saying that funeral and life insurance jobs are, you know, bad jobs, but they're just in my category of jobs that I won't touch. Job opportunities that I won't touch. Because, with the life insurance, if we're targeted for life insurance, I don't want, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to touch that field, and I don't want to touch the funeral thing because it's creepy. So, I mean, I heard that we targeted because life insurance policies are taken out on us without our knowledge or consent, and that's really frightening. So, but I figure I've been reading that almost like the majority of targeted individuals are single women. But then it seems like as if we're blocked from getting a relationship or a boyfriend or a husband. But I mean, I've been brainwashed to believe all my life that nobody wants me and I'm so ugly. But then, it's like I'm targeted for this, government watch list extermination program. And it's basically, I feel like as if I don't have much of any control over my life, and I can't get to do things that I want to do. And I don't even know. I wish there was a way to reverse what the foster mom did to us back then. And I mean, but I'm glad I have at least one narcissistic abuse support group that I can go to. But the thing is, I hate that that person professes to be Christian but thinks, I mean, that the person hosting it professes to be Christian, but then he's, into some new age stuff too. Um, but I try to warn him and others, against new age, but they don't think it's sinful or anything wrong with that. Or one of the fake moderators in the chat threatened to block me for and thought I was falsely assumed that I was trolling for trying to warn, against Christians, you know, dabbling into new age. But that's, I mean, I usually when they talk about new age, I usually mute it so I won't hear their new age talk. And then when it's over with, then I'll then I'll you know put the volume back up. But I need some place where I can have an outlet or a support group or something. And I already told y'all what happened on Quora. And everybody wants me to get back on Facebook, which I call fake book, but people are warning against it because of the metaverse, which I don't want to participate in the metaverse. So when I get a Facebook, people say stay off Facebook, and then when I'm off Facebook, everybody wants me to get a Facebook, and then they be like, get a Facebook, and then when I get a Facebook, after that, then they get hateful and cut off all contact with me. But I'm not allowed to post anything on Facebook or Instagram. Everything I post on Facebook, on Facebook, it would get censored and my account gets suspended for like a month. So I'm like, what's the point of having it? So and my experience in the so-called targeted individual community on Facebook, almost everybody on there is a perp in those supposed support groups on Facebook, and almost everybody's a perp. And with the so-called narcissistic abuse victim groups, the people running it, and almost all the people there are narcs, not victims. So, and so many narcs pretending to be victims. So the narcissistic victim support groups are running like the so-called TI community support groups. It's always the popular fakes at the top. Like the popular fake narc victim who's the actual narc. So, I mean, I'm not getting another Facebook again. And I'm not getting another Instagram again. I'll never get an OnlyFans. Never had Snapchat. But I figure I have a certain limit of the phone data that I have. So I feel like I think I'm good with just YouTube and Twitter and my blog right now. And I'm not gonna, I think that that might be too much to juggle. Trying to use additional platforms and other stuff. So, and bad enough. Well, I peep in and out of Twitter off and on throughout the day. But I guess I don't stay on it consistently like I used to. I mean, back in 2010, I would be depressed and in my apartment, depressed and on Twitter all day. And depressed, living in Denton, Texas, depressed that I couldn't get a job and depressed because of lack of family support and dealing with family, the biological family being abusive and stuff, abusive and controlling and stuff. So I was, suicidal, depressed throughout the year 2010 and nearly succeeded. But, I didn't realize that I would have ended up going to hell if I would have succeeded. So I'm traumatized by that and not going to try that no more. But the gang stalkers, that's their tactic to try to, they're rubbing their hands together hoping that things can be bad enough for me to make me just lose hope and faith. But, I keep on fighting. And and so I'm trying to practice to not. I mean, it's hard to try to not be scared, and I wish there was a way that I can be protected from being back on the streets. And the system makes it difficult to get stabilized housing. And it seems like people aren't really trying to help because it's like the perps spend numerous hours per day to convince the world to not like you and not support you and not help you out when you're in need. And then, making it's like that's how I know that the perps are doing it for the money, is because they're working so hard. They're working too hard. Excuse me. They're working hard and the money must be good. So, and I don't understand for the life of me why other targeted individuals who are still being targeted, why have they acted narcissistic towards me, or why have they perped me? Yet they're still being targeted. I can't understand that for the life of me. So I pretty much gave up on trying to fit in the so-called TI community. And just, on this walk alone by myself. And it's really scary and lonely. And that, other targets have this worldwide hatred towards you the same way the perps do. And here the perps trying to falsely make it like it's a legit claim to say that Candy, is all kinds of bad people, and try to say, don't. I mean, the perps making false videos about me, smear campaigning me, lying and saying, don't donate Candy another penny. And say, you're a fool or you're stupid if you donate to Candy. That's like the foster mom saying that anybody would be a fool to be nice to me or to consider me a friend. That you would be a fool. That somebody would be a fool to give me the time of the day. So, in that narcissistic abuse chat that I was talking about, that guy he was adopted, and he had, similar experiences that almost precisely lines up with what I went through as well. Like, this is crazy. But he would rather talk about narcissistic abuse than gang stalking. But, he acknowledged being a targeted individual and a victim of gang stalking as well. But he said he doesn't like to talk about targeting, but he would rather talk about narcissistic abuse. And so, sometimes it will traumatize me to hear other people's stories. You know, it would traumatize me to hear other people's stories. You know, so, and I've heard about other kids being locked up in small closets and abused and stuff too. So, I mean, I like, it was eerily similar what he went through and what I went through. And it's like, if they see you're quote unquote highly intelligent, but then they'll try to force you to be quote unquote retarded, or they will say you're autistic or something, that you're autistic or you're slow or something, you know. But I don't know if I'll work on more writing today. Might as well, because ain't nothing else to do. I did my due diligence with trying to look for jobs, and I'm exhausted with that. And they're making it so hard. They're making it so difficult. It's like they want to make it a challenge. That all these roadblocks in the way. And they're still hitting me in my heart with the director energy weapons. So, the idea that you being a targeted individual, it's like, if you know how it feels to be targeted, why would you hurt another target? Why would you perp or hurt another target? But, you know, even the TI community seems like a survival of the fittest kind of program, or a race to the top. And when you don't fit in with that race to the top, then, you know, it's like any other clique or any other community that, you know, I mean, it's awkward to be an outcast in a so-called TI community when TIs are outcasts of the world. I don't get that. I thought that we would all be more loving towards each other, and not necessarily giving each other money and stuff, but I'm talking about just, even if it's an emotional support, and, you know, but they don't want to hear about, you know, what you're going through. But you're the first to cry, that they cry and call when they're going through something. But when you're going through something, they don't have time for the drama. But then when they're going through something, oh, I need somebody to talk to. So we all need somebody to talk to. But professed targets I've dealt with, even if they're still being targeted, but then they turn out to be fake as a friend. And I can't comprehend that. And, you know, they'll juice your head up and tell you what they think you want to hear, to pretend to make you feel happy. And then later on, they show you who they really are. So, yeah, I mean, some people say just stay true to yourself and stay true to God, and that matters. That's all that matters. But, you know, as I said, my biggest fear immediately, you know, is to be back on the streets by the end of this week or beginning of next week. And I do not have that $560 a week. I mean, you can get your own place for that much, but they want you with $1,400. If the place is $700 a month, they want you with at least, you know, if the place is $700 a month, they want you with at least $1,400 up front. And if you got $1,399 and 99 cents, then they don't want to associate with you because it ain't the full 1400. But when I was working at Seville Quarter and stuff, they were telling me that, I mean, the cheapest place to get would be like 700, and that was about 6 months ago, and they probably raised the prices on everything, and it's hard to find a place. And people who make false promises to help me get a place to live, and then they go AWOL on me or ghost me, or make false promises to help get my hopes up with certain job opportunities. And it's really painful. So, I mean, I don't care about how the perps want me to survive, but because they don't want me to survive, they want me dead. But how does a regular society want me to survive if they say go get a job and stop stealing our tax dollars? And then, you're looking for a job, nobody want to hire you, and they say, well, nobody owes you a job. And I create my own job, and they smear campaigns saying don't support her, don't help her, don't read her ebooks, don't read her short stories, they're lame. She writes like a 5-year-old. She writes adult themed stories, but writes like a child and stuff like that. So, I mean, how can a person say that? I don't know, but the perps say anything to make sure you're ruined. And targeted individuals in the so-called TI community, they're so into themselves that they don't do enough to try to help other TIs. And then the popular fakes who are financially well off, they'd be like, well, I'm going to buy a house or buy some land. And they never follow through with their promise. And they say, I'm going to buy a house or buy some land for nothing but TIs can live on. And then, I mean, they had this place in Texas where a man had for targeted individuals to live at, but the perps ruined it. They had perps pretending to be TIs that ruined that place to live in a way that the man can't host he doesn't trust hosting targeted individuals anymore. So, and then Lisa T.I., the reason why I say him, because he was, transgender. He got murdered because he offered people to stay with him. But then it was somebody who pretended to be targeted and was a perp and set him up to get killed. And I haven't heard much of anything since that situation. So, and it's frightening because, well, certain things about him, I couldn't bring myself to go up there and go stay by him for certain reasons why I can't say on here. And plus, out of respect of, me trying to be respectful, but it's like, wow, I dodged a bullet, because if I stayed up there, I probably would have got killed too. So, but he was a legit TI though, but it was I mean, like they had the fake TI perps acting like they want me to come stay by them and try to make it like as if I would have it made. But I think there were offers to try to get me to sell out and try to say, well, you can have what I have, but I'm targeted too. But it ain't no gang stalking over here. Come stay by me. So I didn't trust that. And then they turn around, if you reject their offers, then they perp you the hardest. So and I don't do cold weather. I can't do I mean, it's already cold here, and I cannot handle cold weather. I can't function in cold weather. My body is hypersensitive to cold. So I lasted here longer than I thought. I mean, it's been almost exactly 4 months since I've been here. And thanks for the help, whoever, after my job ended, I was mainly paying, you know, using my work money. And then y'all know what happened. I told y'all what happened. So it's disgusting that the perps want to say, don't help Candy, don't help her. And I'm single and disabled and by myself. I just need help to get my own place. And I function best alone with my disability. I can't be around a lot of noise. So my time is going to run out on here. So thanks for listening to me, and I'll see y'all later. I'm going to try to work on some writing. I love y'all. Bye.